So how do you not feed OCD? This is a really tricky one because most of us, I mean, let's be honest, when your child is distressed, you just want to do everything in your power to make them feel calmer again. But the trouble is you're just making it worse for them and you are not better. So I refer to as the 3 R's, which is to avoid giving a reassurance because OCD absolutely loves reassurance. Try not to react to meltdowns, and this can be tricky because these meltdowns can be really challenging. But just try and remember that your child's anxiety can only peak at a 10 for a certain period of time before it comes back down again. So just try and count to 10 or walk away while they calm back down again when you can sort of reason with them better. And thirdly, don't get recruited. This is a biggie because the minute OCD gets you recruited to carry out compulsions, then you're really on a downward slope. Now, one way that I found to make it easier to resist doing these 3 R's, as I call them, is to separate OCD. And the one way that I did this and found it successful to do was by giving OCD a name. And I mean, those of you who bought my books know that I call OCD Hank the Hungry Monster, because it was once likened to me by a therapist as being like a hungry monster. And the more you feed it, the more it wants. So the secret is to starve it of what it needs. So we called it Hank, but as I said, get your child to name it something. You can call it anything: Bob, the boss, Fred, the pain. You call it what you like. You'll find some children, depending on their age, won't find it cool to call it a name. If that's the case, just refer to it as OCD. But then when your child asks you for reassurance, it makes it easier to say no because it doesn't make it so personal. It doesn't make you feel so bad because all you do is say to them, look, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to give Bob what he wants to say in here today. It's up to you if you want to, but I'm not going to tell Bob you've done something because we know you have. Or when it comes to recruiting, say, tell Bob, I'm not going to sort of avoid sitting on that chair because I know there's nothing wrong with that chair. And it just makes it a bit easier, not just for your child, but for you as well, because it helps to keep OCD separate, because OCD is separate from your child. And it's important to remember that because often we can confuse and call it their OCD. It's not their OCD. It's not part of them. And the minute you actually acknowledge that and treat it as a separate entity, it can be a game changer. This is just a small example that I share from my Parents in OCD and Teens and Tweens handbook. I wrote the handbook because so many parents were asking me for help and support while they were waiting for therapy that I decided to share things that had worked for me based on what I'd learned by my own research, by CAMS, and also from paid therapy and from speaking to other parents who've been parenting a child with OCD. It's over 100 pages long, but I've kept it as low cost as I can because I want to help as many parents as I can. So at the moment it's £15 and you can download it today by just clicking on the link in this email.